Wednesday edition of Main Street Sports Today, presented by the Tennessee Orthopedic Alliance of Columbia. I'm Maurice Patton. That's Chris Yao. We are coming to you from the Lee Company studio here in Columbia, which is a bit of an oddity.
Yeah, these days it has not been, I don't know, normal, but it's been 2 weeks of...
We were here Monday, right? You and
Yeah.
I were. And then Wade and I were remote those 3 days. And obviously the 2 weeks before that with state tournament and that kind of thing. So we were out and about. But yeah, we are getting settled back into our digs here in Columbia, and got a great show for you here on this Friday afternoon. We will be visiting in the second hour with, and it just felt fitting, March Madness, to get one of the engineers of not one, but two of the NCAA tournament's more notable upsets. Kermit Davis, former MTSU men's basketball coach, will be joining us later in the show. And later in this hour, in the next segment, as a matter of fact, we will have Louisville Courier-Journal columnist C.L. Brown. Can't imagine what we're going to talk to him about.
I got nothing.
But Oakland will be mentioned. let's just say that. Obviously, I mean, March Madness kind of dominates everything, takes up all of the oxygen, and will take up most of this show. A lot going on day one on the men's side. We've got some.
My heart's just pounding here because
we got some interesting stuff going on right here. You can't see it, but I would advise you to get to ESPNU because I'm sorry, ESPN2, because Middle Tennessee State, which was down 38-20 in the second quarter, excuse me. Yeah, thank you.
Men's and women's right now is really hard to discern.
At any rate, Middle Tennessee State, down by 18, has come back to tie this thing with the ball with 1:18 left in the third quarter.
And that's all we can tell you.
Because we don't have the express written consent of anybody. If you're listening, NCAA and ESPN, we apologize.
Yeah.
Please don't hurt us. Anyway, lot of March Madness in this show. So, and from what I'm told, I've not looked yet. I'm kind of scared to look at this point.
It's bad.
It's a lengthy rundown. So we should probably get into yesterday's results and the weekend schedule on the rundown.
This is the rundown.
Friday Rundown is brought to you by Chip Walters at Exit Realty, Bob Lamb & Associates. The Blue Raider Voice also wants to be your trusted advisor in real estate. Contact Chip at 615-542-1915 or through his website at choosechip.net. Chip Walters, proud to support youth sports across Middle Tennessee.
High school baseball scores from Thursday night. Battleground Academy doubled up University School of Nashville 6-3. Blackman with a 3-1 win over Smyrna. It was West Creek 5, Clarksville Northeast 1. Clarksville slowing down that Columbia Central train temporarily, down in the lines 3-2, just their second loss in 11 games.
And that was a walk-off in the bottom of the seventh.
Ouch.
Yeah.
Okay. Eagleville with a 12-0 win over Cornerville. It was Rossview 4, Christ Presbyterian 2, Creekwood 4, Dixon County 2, Davidson Academy 8, Overton 3, Friendship Christian with a 5-0 win over Upperman. Community defeated Giles County 6-4. Hillsboro 10-run through, Lawson 12-2. Goodpasture with a 12-0 win over Lone Oak of Arkansas. Murfreesboro Central with a 3-1 win over Marshall County. Marshall County also fell to Murfreesboro Central 9-4. Harpeth with a 12-0 win over Martin Luther King. Lawrence County defeated Mount Pleasant 12-2. It was Siegel 5, Oakland 4. Riverdale with a 7-3 win over Oxford of Alabama. Perry County doubled up Santa Fe 10-5. Ravenwood with an 8-5 victory over Franklin. It was Rossview's 8, Independence 6. Good Pasture defeated Sapulpa of Oklahoma 5-2. Station Camp with a 6-5 win over Science Hill. Blackman 5, Smyrna 4. Oh, they must have played a doubleheader. Let's see. Spring Hill with a 2-1 win over Summertown. It was Lipscomb Academy 12, Stewart's Creek 5. Kirkwood all over Todd County Central of Kentucky 23-1. Gordonsville with a 7-2 win over Watertown, and Wayne County edged Culleoka 4-3.
Softball action, Andreen, Indiana 4, Siegel 3. Siegel bounced back with they did not bounce back. I guess kind of. They tied.
Yeah, they didn't lose.
They didn't lose to Baylor. 4-4. That's the final there. Castle of Indiana 11-4. These are down in Gulf Shores, my assumption. Clarksville Northeast edged Clarksville Christian 13-12. Henry County 17, Clarksville Northwest nothing. Coffee County 12-4 winners over Mount Juliet. Columbia edging Warren County 30-2. It was Smyrna 5, Cookville 4, Ensworth 3-2 winners over Middle Tennessee Christian. Floyd Central of Indiana and 6-1 winners over Blackman. Franklin County down to Murfreesboro Central 17-6. Marshall County 15-10 winners over Lawrence County. Lebanon down Stewart's Creek 7-6. Muscle Shoals of Alabama a 1-0 winner over Loretto. Floyd Central of Indiana 11-8 over Mount Juliet. Summit falls to Nolensville 5-3. Oakland a pair of wins 7-5 over Green Hill and 16-4 over of Hoosiers fame Milan, Indiana.
Hello.
South of Elgin, Illinois 10-6 winners over Riverdale, and Wilson Central 18-0 over Laverne. On the pitch, boys soccer. Beach 3, Bixby, Oklahoma 1. Valor Collegiate 3-2 winners over Brentwood Academy. Smith County falling to Friendship Christian 2-1. It was Giles County with a big one over Campbell County 10-0. Baylor and Hendersonville 0-0 draw. John Overton 2, Hume 5-0. Laverne 9-0 over White House. Middle Tennessee Christian 4-1 winners over Eagle Harding. Oakland 2, Mount Juliet 1. Southmore, Oklahoma 1. Murfreesboro Central 0. And Stewart's Creek 3, Smyrna 2.
Tennessee was the only Southeastern Conference team to win its opening round matchup in the NCAA tournament yesterday, taking care of St. Peter's 83-49. In women's college basketball,
Bachman Turner overdrive there, taking care of business.
no doubt. Women's basketball, Belmont with a 77-59 win over Ball State in the WBIT. And on the ice, the Preds. Need we even say it at this point? 3-0 at Florida. Today's baseball schedule in progress right now. 2:00 start, Moody of Alabama and Riverdale. 4:00 starts for Giles County at Community. Rockvale and Gordonsville. Also, Stratford is at Hillsborough at 4, and Lebanon plays Beach. At 4:30, Summit plays Clarksville. Scotts Hill plays Clarksville Academies. Christ Presbyterian and Dixon County play, and Battleground Academy is at University School of Nashville. 5:00 start for Summertown at Forest. Hampshire hosting Frank Hughes. Springfield traveling to Macon County. Perry County is at Santa Fe. Davidson Academy is at Waverly. Wayne County hosting Zion Christian at 6. Page is at Columbia Central. Oakland goes to Nolensville. Whites Creek travels to Warren Central of Kentucky, and Brentwood hosting Father Ryan at 6:30.
Rundown.
We got to start it over sometimes.
My bad.
It's only 5 minutes, so.
Well, goodness gracious. At 6:30, Kirkwood is at Clarksville Northwest. Culleoka goes to East Hickman. Friendship Christian hosts DeKalb County. Brentwood Academy is at Overton. Lawrence County hosting Mount Pleasant. Lipscomb Academy goes to Mount Juliet. Middle Tennessee Christian is at Siegel. Richland is at Spring Hill, and West Creek hosts Hume Falls. 7:00 starts for Scotts Hill at Centennial. Independence at Clarksville. Franklin hosting Christ Presbyterian Academy. Harpeth is at Lawson. At 7:30, Riverdale plays Alexandria of Alabama. And no start time listed for Joe Burns at Eagleville.
Tomorrow, Lipscomb Academy is at Friendship Christian at 10 a.m., as is Piedmont of Alabama and the Bulldogs against Riverdale. At 11, it's Shelbyville at Murfreesboro Central. Red Bull and Springs hosting Mount Juliet Christian. At 11, Gordonsville will take the trip to Green Hill. At 11:30, Columbia Academy is at Donaldson Christian. And at noon, Dixon County is at Brentwood. Also at noon, Clarksville is at Centennial. Clarksville Academy and Summertown will play. Christ Presbyterian is at Columbia Central. Waverly is at Ensworth. Grace Franklin hosting Brentwood Academy. Loretto is at Mars Hill Bible of Alabama. At 12:30, it's Hardin Valley and Station Camp. At 1 o'clock, Davidson Academy and MBA at Montgomery-Bell. It'll be Oakland at Franklin County at 1:30. Loretto and Mars Hill will play the second part of that doubleheader. Titusville, Florida and Stewart's Creek at 1:30. Clarksville Northeast at Henry County. Page welcomes Clarksville Academy at 2:30. At 4:30 is Siegel at Middle Tennessee Christian. Siegel at Middle Tennessee Christian at 4:30. At 5:30, Beach at Friendship Christian. St. Patrick of Illinois. His day's over, so hopefully Mount Juliet will take care of them at 6 o'clock on Saturday. Madison Academy and Middle College at 6:30, and then Rockville is playing someone. Franklin will take on Rossview at a time unknown, as will Rossview be at Summit time unknown.
Also, Columbia Academy has a game at 5 today. I think, because I'm planning on covering.
No. What?
We'll get back to you on that. Wait a minute. No, that was baseball. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
That was baseball you were reading.
Correct.
Softball right now. Riverdale is playing Plainview, Alabama. It was a 2 o'clock start, also a 2 o'clock start for Wayne County and Smyrna. Siegel and South Elgin of Illinois. Rogers of Alabama and Stewart's Creek. 4 o'clock starts for Plainview of Alabama and Cheatham County. Also Nolensville and Hazel Green out of Alabama. Laverne and Mantino of Illinois. Green Hill and Rogers. Macon County and Stewart's Creek. And Floyd Central of Indiana and Summertown, not at Summertown. These are all part of the Southern Warrior Classic over in Murfreesboro. 4:30, Friendship Christian is at Donaldson Christian. Fairview is at Cheatham, at Decatur County, Riverside. 4:30. Goodness gracious. Lewis County is at Columbia Central at 5. Grace Christian of Franklin is at Columbia Academy at 5. There we go. Also, Loretto hosting Collinwood. Riverdale and Macon County are playing at 5. McEwen is at Santa Fe. Independence goes to Spring Hill. At 5:30, Kenwood is at Henry County. Murfreesboro Central goes to Upperman. Franklin plays at Battleground Academy. At 6, Macon County and Blackman square off, as do Moore County at Eagleville. Dyer County taking on Green Hill. Carterville of Illinois and Lincoln County. Station Camp and Rogers of Alabama. Cheatham County and Summertown. 7 o'clock starts for West Creek and Clarksville Christian. Take note of that. Also, Station Camp in DeKalb County at 8. Dixon County and Macon County at 8. Lawrence County of Alabama and Ottawa at 8:30. And also at 8:30, Rossview and Clarksville Christian.
Saturday, Zion Christian and Andron, Indiana at 8 a.m. Also at 8 a.m. is Siegel and Floyd Central of Indiana, Warren, Illinois, and Riverdale. At 10, Cheatham County and Carterville, no S, of Illinois, Lakota West of Ohio and Dixon County, Macon County, Cheatham County, Macon County, Cheatham County, and Carterville can't all play at the same time. Cheatham County's playing somebody at 10 o'clock in the morning. Rockville and Ottawa, Herscher, Illinois, and Page, South Gibson, Smyrna, Summertown, Davis County, Kentucky, Matino, Illinois, and Zion Christian. That's also not possible. Oh, no, I guess it is. Zion Christian plays at 8 and 10 in the morning. There you go.
Yeah.
Waverly and Clarksville Christian at 10:30. Cheatham County and Andron, Indiana at 12. It's Plainview and Centennial at noon. Also Huntsville of Alabama and Smyrna. Go ahead and hit that again. Castle, Indiana, and Summertown. Stewart's Creek at Dyer County at 2.
Is the rundown.
Is indeed. Creekwood and Forest at 2. Green Hill, Huntsville at 2. Also at 2 is Davis County, Kentucky Page. Station Camp, South Gibson. Zion Christian, Cheatham County. At 4, it's Nolensville, Huntsville. Creekwood, Nashville Lady Knights. Page and Smyrna. Forest and Stewart's Creek. And then at 6, Centennial, Forest, and Nolensville Station Camp.
On Sunday, as we're in our third 5-minute cycle. Jesus.
This does happen on weekends in the spring, though.
Yeah. Dunlap of Illinois plays Siegel at 8 o'clock. At 10 o'clock, it's Herscher of Illinois and Dixon County. Also, Wakanda
No.
and Siegel at 10. Dundee Crown of Illinois and Page at 11. Willowbrook of Illinois and Creekwood at 1. Dixon County and Wakanda at 2. That's WAUCONDA, by the way, for what it's worth. Willowbrook of Illinois and Page play at 3. At 4, it's Bloomington Central Catholic of Illinois and Creekwood. Also at 4, Canton of Illinois and Centennial. And at 7, it's Serena of Illinois and Centennial. On the pitch, 4 o'clock this afternoon, St. George's plays Murfreesboro Central. Montgomery Bell Academy travels to Hillsborough for a 6 o'clock first touch. Also at 6, it's Tullahoma at Lawrence County and Clarksville Northeast at Sycamore. At 6:30, Page goes to Christ Presbyterian Academy. Gallatin and Farragut will play at 6:30. Also at 6:30, it's Watertown at Jackson County. Mars Hill Bible School of Alabama goes to Loretto, and Riverdale is at Rockvale. At 7, Rossview travels to Laverne. Siegel hosts Blackman. At 8 o'clock, Franklin Christian plays Giles County.
On Saturday, Pike Road and the Patriots of Alabama take on Giles County at 10:30. Is this over in East Tennessee?
It could be in the
So these
Smoky
are probably,
Mountain.
those Smoky Mountain Classic
Mhm.
matchups. These could be Eastern times. Gallatin CAK at 12:30. Murfreesboro Central also 12:30 playing someone. Brentwood is at Shelbyville at 1. And USJ and Pope Prep will play at some point. Women's basketball. I'll tell you the score right now, but I don't know it. So Vanderbilt's at Baylor at 5 o'clock on ESPNU. Vanderbilt plays Baylor
Stop.
in Portland.
57. No, Vanderbilt plays Baylor at Blacksburg.
That's right. Sorry. It's in the
It's in
Portland
the
region.
Portland region. The Portland
3.
No, it's either 1 or 2.
Albany is 2.
No, there's an Albany 1 and 2, and there's a Portland 1 and 2. That's the way they're denoted.
I thought it was 1, 3, 2, and 4.
No.
Well, that's dumb.
It is.
It's
With
dumb
five-
to only have 2 anyway, period.
With 5:16 to play, Middle Tennessee State 57, Louisville 54.
There we go. All right.
Yeah, there we go.
Tomorrow, Green Bay and Tennessee at 11 a.m. That's in Raleigh. Men's
Mhm.
basketball, Texas at Tennessee. That's tomorrow night on CBS at 7 o'clock.
That's in Charlotte.
That's
Can
in
you
Charlotte.
get from one to the other? Or how
Uh,
quickly can you get from one to the
I
other?
think you could.
That's interesting.
Grizzlies and Spurs at 7 o'clock
Tonight?
today, I think,
I believe so.
on Valley Sports. Tomorrow, the Preds welcome Detroit at 4 o'clock on Valley Sports. And on the pitch, Nashville SC is at Los Angeles FC at 9:30, and that's on Apple TV.
And that, mercifully, is your rundown. Top story of today, presented as always by Piggly Wiggly of Neely's Mill here in Columbia. Be sure and stop through for their delicious daily deli lunch options, as well as their hand-cut meats, and everything is cost plus 10% at the register. Is that where you went for lunch today?
No, I ended up in Old Glory.
Oh, okay. Well, you should. Old Glory's not paying us, bro.
Yeah, but I honestly,
You were headed somewhere else.
I was headed to Omegas.
They're not paying us either.
Couldn't park. So
Enough said. Anyway, top story. We mentioned it in the rundown. Philip Forsberg with a
We
pair of
did?
goals.
How do you
Yeah.
remember?
You may have forgotten. I understand. Philip Forsberg scored a pair of goals. The Predators scored in each period. Kevin Lankinen got his first career shutout. And
against the most talked about team in the National Hockey.
yeah. The Predators cannot lose.
I was
Not
told,
in regulation anyway.
I was told this team was good. Kevin Lankinen.
This is your king?
yeah, Kevin Lankinen said, no,
No.
not so much. No, man, franchise record, point streak,
16 games.
and
14 of those victories.
second longest this season behind Winnipeg's December to February.
Goodness gracious.
Incredible run. Do you know what the NHL record is for point streak?
No, I do not. I know I
surprised.
shocked you that I don't, but I
It
don't.
blows me away. The 1979-1980 Philadelphia Flyers went 34 games
Without,
without a loss.
oh, good. 34.
30.
What was the rest of the league doing?
This is not beating Philadelphia.
Oh.
Clearly.
Clearly.
That was back when you could tie, though. There weren't any overtime. It was just ties. There wasn't overtime back.
So if you didn't lose in 60 minutes, then you just tied. Kevin Lankinen making his first start in almost 2 weeks. 33 shots on goal, 33 stops for number 32.
Man, I'm telling you, you cannot overstate how incredible the Predators' goalie situation currently is.
Currently. I mean, this is certainly not the way we were discussing their goalie situation
A month ago. Definitely not a month ago.
Yeah.
3 weeks ago even.
And again, you know, we had Ann Kimmel on earlier this week. This all started with a 9-2 loss to Dallas.
9-2.
9-2.
At home.
Dead in the water.
Looked like
Sell.
useless. has been the word of the day
In
here
the studio.
in the
Yes.
studio.
Yeah. Certainly no longer useless.
No, absolutely not. I'm incredibly impressed with
I mean, how can you
how
not be?
Andrew Burnett has completely turned this franchise, this team around in such a short period of time. I mean, you cannot look at this team and think it's even remotely similar to what we saw in January even.
Yeah.
So now you're sitting here thinking, okay, well, the division is probably out of reach. I mean, one would think
Theoretically.
with what, like 12, 13 games to go, give or take. Now the Preds have 11. Is it 81?
82, I believe.
82.
Yep.
So they have 12 games left. Winnipeg and Colorado have a game in hand even.
Mhm.
And they're 7 points out of first. Of course, Winnipeg, Colorado, and Dallas all have 93 points. All three of them have 93 points.
Goodness gracious.
So, and you got to be in the top three to not be in the wild card. So you got to make up 7 points somehow over
To get
12
out of
games.
the wild card.
And I just don't know that that's possible. So,
Of course, the way they're playing right now, I wouldn't put anything past them either.
well, but you got to rely on the other ones to lose. Too.
Yeah, they got to lose.
And
yeah.
that's so. I mean,
maybe
the Preds
not,
could
maybe not so much.
Yeah, the Preds maybe, but does everybody else help in
Help
that
you.
situation?
Mhm.
So I mean, it's almost a lock that they're in. They're 9 points up on St. Louis, who's the first team out. So I think they're pretty much a lock to get in. And at this point, whomever sees them in the playoffs is not going to
Doesn't
be
want to.
happy. Anyway, yeah. Hey, how exciting is March Madness, right? We love it. Do you remember, was it last year, Furman and Hillsborough legend?
JP Pegues?
Is it Pegues?
Mhm.
I'm glad you know that because I keep saying Pegway.
No.
Only because it rhymes with P. JP Peg,
Yeah. No, it's Pegues.
Okay.
Yeah. Anyway.
So he's entered the portal out of Furman. So just FYI.
That will be something to watch. What's he got left? A year, 2
Probably
years?
one,
Yeah.
if I had to guess.
Yeah. Yeah. Wow. Okay. If we're not saying anything, it's because we're looking at this ball game.
Yeah, it's really hard to watch to do this show, and
It is. It
But-
is. It's a distraction.
MTSU has extended that lead from 57 to 60 now, and boy, is this crazy or what? Tell you what, let's just go ahead and take a break and watch it during the break.
Hey, let's take a break, and when we get back, we will be joined by Louisville Courier-Journalist, Louisville Courier-Journal columnist C.L. Brown. So stay tuned as we return to the Lee Company studios here on Main Street Sports Today, presented by the Tennessee Orthopedic Alliance of Columbia. Whether you're an athlete or a weekend warrior, when it comes to your performance, don't settle for anything less than excellence. We're proud to announce that Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint Clinic is now Tennessee Orthopedic Alliance of Columbia, where we are redefining sports medicine and orthopedics. Tennessee Orthopedic Alliance's team of expert sports medicine physicians understands the unique demands of your body. TOA Columbia specializes in personalized orthopedic care, offering state-of-the-art treatments for everything from sports injuries to joint replacements. Learn more at toacolumbia.com.
With Lee Company technology, the best handymen are hands-off. Lee Company techs have been using visual findings and other smart technology tools for years to add transparency and virtually take customers along. You see what we see, whether we're in a crawl space or on a roof. With Lee Company, technology helps us help you, no matter what's happening in the world or at your house.
Jones & Lang Sporting Goods here in Columbia has been outfitting teams, officials, and anybody else from T-ball to college for 50 plus years. Be sure and check them out at 931-388-8060 or online at jonesandlang.com. Jones & Lang Sporting Goods, the look of a winner.
Zion Christian Academy, zioneagles.org or 931-388-5731. You can schedule your appointment. Go tour their campus. It is beautiful over there, and you're definitely going to want to see it. Again, it's zioneagles.org. Give them a call, 931-388-5731, and schedule your tour today. Custom Stone Handler supplies over 600 distributors and suppliers with quality stone products. Along with River Stone, we produce and distribute over 100 building, landscape, and other bulk products. Our goal is to provide quality products, service, and partnerships to ensure our customers' success. We firmly believe that the measure of any person or company is how they treat other people and customers. Give them a call at 931-490-4990 or visit CustomStonehandlers.com.
A game without a crowd is just a scrimmage. A performance without an audience is just a rehearsal. Without your presence, high school sports and the performing arts aren't possible. Ensure that these essential extracurricular activities continue to enrich the lives of students in Tennessee. Purchase a ticket to your local high school's game or performance.
This message presented by the TSSAA.
Piggly Wiggly, located in Neely's Mill Shopping Center, is Columbia's locally owned and operated Cost Plus 10 grocery store dedicated to serving the community with low prices and smiling faces. Piggly Wiggly offers fresh, hand-cut meats daily as well as daily hot plate lunches from their deli counter. You're certain to see smiling faces and a helping hand when you're here at Piggly Wiggly. Come by and check out our fresh produce, high-quality meats, and more. Down home, down the street, we'll see you at the Pig.
We thrive under the lights. A city of performers. Putting on one heck of a show. Headlining night after night. Welcome to Smashville.
MTSU 64, Louisville 56, 149, 6458, 145 to play. Welcome back to Main Street Sports Today, presented by the Tennessee Orthopedic Alliance of Columbia. That's Chris Yao. I'm Maurice Patton, and a guy who may not be pleased with that update joining us now, Louisville Courier-Journal columnist, C.L. Brown. You're on the move.
I am on the move. I'm on my way back to Kentucky. So this is the first time I've done an interview like this where people could actually see me in the lift going to the airport, but it's all good.
Well, we appreciate you taking some time. What shape is Kentucky in as you return? Did we lose him?
I mean, it's going to be interesting. It's very I think it's a touch and go situation with John Calipari because, I mean, this is the second year out of the last first round of the tournament, and that's unheard of at Kentucky. And then when you factor in the 9-16 season they had in 2021, the COVID year, they haven't gotten out of the first round of the NCAA tournament since 2019. I mean, that's considered a drought when you're at a blue blood program. So I think, the contract that he has and the buyout that he has, that will make it tough for any other situation. I think he could be on the chopping block. Buyout is, north of 30 million. I think technically it's like 30 between 33 and 34 million. I don't know that Kentucky is going to try and, force him out in any way, shape, or form.
And again, for those who haven't heard, number 3 seed Kentucky lost to 14 seed Oakland 80-76 last night. That's the second straight loss to a double-digit seed in the opening round, on top of these early outs for Kentucky. And as you say, the 33 mil might be a little it might be tough to deal with, but at the same time, these consistent first round exits for Kentucky have got to be tough to deal with as well.
Yeah, I mean, you look at the roster, they have
I didn't get out of the tunnel, and that's when we lose it. You'd think in the tunnel would be the hard problem.
Hey, hello?
Yeah, we're struggling to. That's so crazy that he was in the tunnel and was fine. You get out of the tunnel,
And we lose him. Yeah.
ain't that nuts?
Technology. It's beautiful. Hopefully we can get CL back, but Chris, we were kind of texting back and forth. There he is. Let's try CL again. Yeah.
There we go.
Sorry about that. We're past the tunnel. I don't know why it dropped me now.
That's nuts.
Yeah. But you were saying.
Actually, I forgot what I was saying. I forgot what the question was.
No, just again, the money is an issue, but the performance when it's the biggest stage is an issue, I guess, as well.
Yes. Here's the thing. So, yeah, they've got a roster full of future NBA stars. I mean, Rob Dillingham and Reed Shepherd will probably be in the top 10 picks in the NBA draft this year if they decide to come out, which I'm assuming that they are going to come out since they'll be picked that high. And then, but John Calipari has tried to win with the same formula that he's done since he got there in 2009. And it worked early. You get the high-end talent, you can win. You can run with those dogs and you can win. But the game has changed, and it really was impacted by COVID and NIL. So now you got guys staying longer, and that COVID year of eligibility that guys had, even taking that 5th year. You have rosters of grown-ups playing against Kentucky. I mean, last night, the guy from Oakland, Jack Gohlke, he's 24, I think he is. He played at Division two school, Hillsdale College, for 5 years before transferring. Oakland was his only D1 offer. And, we saw what he did, 10 3-pointers. But the main thing was he wasn't afraid of Kentucky. He wasn't, afraid of the situation and the stage. They took that as a challenge, and they made basketball plays, and they played smart, and they were tough, and that's what Kentucky lacked. There was a part in the game. Well, two of the things that I think of that ended up being huge against Kentucky. They're down 61-59, and they have a 2-on-1 fast break, and Reed Shepherd tries to throw an alley-oop lob to Big Z, Zvonimir Ivisic. And, the pass goes crazy. It ends up in a turnover. Oakland gets the ball on their ensuing possession and hits a 3. That's a huge swing in the game. And I think a veteran player knows how you have to value the ball and value possessions in postseason, and doesn't try and make that spectacular play. They make the simple play to get the bucket. And then you had, with 28 seconds left, Rob Dillingham helping off of the corner on a drive to the basket when he didn't need to. And they kick it out to the corner for a 3. and Oakland goes up 4 at that point, which was really kind of the gut punch and the nail in the coffin for Kentucky's attempt to close out that game. So it was little things like that would happen throughout the game that were freshman mistakes that, if you have a veteran team, they don't make. So I think, if anything, instead of trying to get rid of Calipari, I think Calipari's going to have to look at himself in the mirror and just kind of change, and kind of have a roster that's more up to date with competing in today's day and age, which you supplement that high-end freshman talent with some veterans from the portal. And you also have classes where you get guys you're going to develop, instead of always getting the guys that are going to be one and done, so that 3 and 4 years down the line, they would have grown in your system at Kentucky and they could contribute in situations like this, which I think could happen if Adou Thiero and Ugonna Onyenso both come back for Kentucky, because last year they hardly played at all. This year they had substantial roles, and next year as juniors, they could be really solid college players.
Well, I guess the good thing is that if you are John Calipari and you change your ways, you can change your ways in 1 year now with the portal.
Yeah,
you can go get guys who have some experience playing at the NCAA level pretty quickly. And you've seen teams be very successful doing so, even having to go to Northern Colorado to get them. You're JP Pegues, is a guy who could absolutely help a team like Kentucky. So do they give him the time to make those adjustments, or is it just a matter of they don't have any choice to give him the time due to the contract and the buyout?
I think from Kentucky's perspective, they probably don't have any choice. Athletic director Mitch Barnhart could have a discussion with him, could try and lead him to that direction, but to me, it's going to take Calipari saying, I don't want to deal with this, and let's just negotiate a settlement for him to really be in a situation where there's going to be a coaching change. And I don't see that happening. Cal is a fighter. I don't think he's going to back out after losing in the first round, 2 out of these last 3 years. I think if it's going to happen, he's going to go out, he's going to go out swinging. He's going to go out with a Final Four or something.
C.L. Brown of the Louisville Courier-Journal. That's tough to say. Joining us on Main Street Sports today. Meanwhile, CL, you do have a bona fide coaching search going on right there in your hometown. What's the latest with Louisville? And how much did Northwestern Florida Atlantic impact that?
Well, it's going to be interesting, I think. So the name that was, kind of the front runner for a while was Scott Drew at Baylor. It looks like that is no longer the case. The funny thing about these coaching searches is, so much of it is kind of behind closed doors and the whispers of what negotiations may or may not be taking place with agents and that sort of thing. So I'm not totally 100% sure that the offer was made to Scott Drew. I'm only sure of the interest they had in Scott Drew. But all that being said, the word is now he's not the guy. And so you look at Dusty May at Florida Atlantic as someone else who might be who they're interested in, and he might be now that he's free, this might go into warp drive, and there might be discussions pick up. But I will say this, something that I got wind of last night, that it may not be Dusty May. We may have another candidate in here. I haven't got it reported to the point where I feel safe to reveal a name and everything now, but I'll put it this way: it wouldn't surprise me if it ends up not being Dusty May.
Dusty May versus the field. You might take the field at this point, then.
I might take the field.
All right. Again, CL Brown of the Louisville Courier-Journal joining us here on Main Street Sports today. And the Louisville women are winding down. 11.4 seconds to play, middle with a 71-69. Oh, 71-69 with 4.3, and our monitor is buffering, but probably by the time it comes, it's going to be done.
The internet here is not doing great right now.
Not helping us here in March Madness.
It's madness, all right.
It is definitely madness. CL, besides the Kentucky situation, what did you see? What did you hear about yesterday that stunned you, maybe?
I didn't hear the first part of that question. All I heard was that stuff.
Kentucky, what surprised you out of the first day?
Oh, that Nevada collapsed. I had Nevada picked as a Sweet 16 team. I was
As did I, but are you like me and just forgot who their coach was?
That's what somebody else said to me. I mean, they were up 17, and score 4 points the rest of the game, or the remaining about 8 minutes. I mean, I don't know. I thought he could get over the hump this year, but clearly that wasn't the case. I also was surprised by Duquesne, which I probably should have seen that one coming too, given that their coach is retiring afterwards, and it was probably an emotional lift for them going into that game with BYU. But I don't think I've been surprised by too much. I picked Oregon. I thought that they would take care of South Carolina. I also picked Samford, which, who knows if the officials get that block right instead of calling a foul. Who knows if Samford rallies to actually pull that one out. But
I had Bucky in the Sweet 16 too, man. Tough day.
Yeah.
See, this is why Mo doesn't pick a bracket.
Final.
MTSU 51, Louisville 69, final. Sorry, CL.
Oh, I'm fine. I'm good one way or the other. I thought it was going to be a tricky game for them. And obviously they went down and lost the middle last year. So, and I do wonder if some of their players might have been looking ahead to a potential matchup with LSU and facing their former teammate Haley Van Lith.
LSU and HVL,
yeah. We'll never know.
Great.
We'll never know.
Hey, CL, we appreciate you taking some time fighting through some connectivity issues and being with us here on Main Street Sports today, and look forward to catching up with you again soon.
All right. Appreciate you guys for having me.
Hey, thanks. Hey, when we come back here on Main Street Sports today, presented by the Tennessee Orthopedic Alliance of Columbia, talk a little more women's NCAA. Talk a little bit about this one that just got done, one that's coming up, another one that's tomorrow. So plenty going on. It's March. It's mad. We're here. Stay tuned.
We thrive under the lights. A city of performers. Putting on one heck of a show. Headlining night after night. Welcome to Smashville.
Whether you're an athlete or a weekend warrior, when it comes to your performance, don't settle for anything less than excellence. We're proud to announce that Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint Clinic is now Tennessee Orthopedic Alliance of Columbia, where we are redefining sports medicine and orthopedics. Tennessee Orthopedic Alliance's team of expert sports medicine physicians understands the unique demands of your body. TOA Columbia specializes in personalized orthopedic care, offering state-of-the-art treatments for everything from sports injuries to joint replacements. Learn more at toacolumbia.com.
Custom Stone Handler supplies over 600 distributors and suppliers with quality stone products. Along with River Stone, we produce and distribute over 100 building, landscape, and other bulk products. Our goal is to provide quality products, service, and partnerships to ensure our customers' success. We firmly believe that the measure of any person or company is how they treat other people and customers. Give them a call at 931-490-4990 or visit CustomStonehandlers.com.
A game without a crowd is just a scrimmage. A performance without an audience is just a rehearsal. Without your presence, high school sports and the performing arts aren't possible. Ensure that these essential extracurricular activities continue to enrich the lives of students in Tennessee. Purchase a ticket to your local high school's game or performance.
This message presented by the TSSAA. With Lee Company technology, the best handymen are hands-off. Lee Company techs have been using visual findings and other smart technology tools for years to add transparency and virtually take customers along. You see what we see, whether we're in a crawl space or on a roof. With Lee Company, technology helps us help you, no matter what's happening in the world or at your house.
Piggly Wiggly, located in Neely's-Mill Shopping Center, is Columbia's locally owned and operated Cost Plus 10 grocery store dedicated to serving the community with low prices and smiling faces. Piggly Wiggly offers fresh, hand-cut meats daily as well as daily hot plate lunches from their deli counter. You're certain to see smiling faces and a helping hand when you're here at Piggly Wiggly. Come by and check out our fresh produce, high-quality meats, and more. Down home, down the street, we'll see you at the Pig.
Welcome back to the Weekend Update edition of Main Street Sports Today, presented by the Tennessee Orthopedic Alliance of Columbia. I'm Maurice Patton. That's Chris Yao. And we continue with March Madness. And there's, other than Lexington, there's probably not a whole lot madder than going from 18 points down to surviving a late three and winning 71-69, as Middle Tennessee State's women just did down in Baton Rouge against Louisville. 6-seeded Louisville.
Yeah, Louisville knew, I think, contrary to maybe what CL said there, I think they knew that Middle Tennessee was going to give them everything that they could handle. Now, after getting up 17, maybe that's
18.
when, or 18, maybe that's when your mind starts wandering to round two. And, maybe you're not contesting Savannah Wheeler's shots quite as well. And she goes for 20 in the second half. And here we are.
Yeah. At one point, Savannah Wheeler and Jalen Gregory had scored all of their second half points in this in the rally. Again, 38-20. That wasn't the halftime score, was it?
38-27 was the halftime.
That's right, because they went on a 7-0 run to close the second half, the first half, the second quarter.
Correct.
And then continue that momentum coming back out of the locker room. So huge win. First NCAA tournament win for MTSU since 2007, I think was what the graphic said. So
that's correct.
Huge. So they will now play the winner of third seeded host LSU and 14th seeded Rice, which is a former rival of MTSU's in Conference USA. So should be interesting. I'm looking for
defending national champs on their home court. You got a chance to shock the world if LSU is able to advance. So it's going to be a fun second round either way. Tennessee certainly doesn't have it easy. either?
No, Green Bay, which has been a staple out of the Horizon League for a long time, taking on the Lady Vols over in Raleigh, as you mentioned earlier. Is Kelly coaching for a job?
If she loses this one, I think it's all but over. I think that will be the final nail.
As the 6th seed, right there.
Yeah, you can't lose to Green Bay. And as our friend Dave Hooker has said on his show a number of times, as I've watched, for Tennessee, Sweet 16 is the expectation. That's the floor.
Mm-hmm.
If you're not making the Sweet 16, you are not anywhere close to reaching the level that is expected of you at Tennessee. Now, again, you have to go into it with a lot of different mindsets. One, okay, if not her, then who? And that's part of it. But also what must be done eventually should be done.
What should be done eventually must be done immediately.
So
Yeah.
either way, you got to look at it in two different options. And the fact is that two other teams in this state are on the upswing while you are, as the standard, not.
Yeah. I mean, obviously, Tennessee has been that program from a women's basketball standpoint that everyone else has looked up to, not just in this state either, but certainly in this state. And, one of those teams beat you in Huntsville back in December. And the other one is coming because Vanderbilt, as we said, number 12 seed, won a first 4 game Wednesday night against Columbia and will take on 5th seeded Baylor at 6 o'clock tonight up in Blacksburg. And I feel like that's a winnable game, man. When you look at the schedule the non-conference schedule that Vanderbilt played, I think they're ready for this matchup.
I would agree. Now, you watch them play Columbia in the first 4, and in the first half, you're sitting there going, man. But of course, depth wins out. Shea Ralph starts coaching really, really well late in the first half, and that continued into the second half, and they come away with a victory. So yeah, I mean, I think that Vanderbilt certainly has an opportunity to put one on the board as an 11. I don't think there's any question.
12.
12, you're right.
Yeah. Yeah. So
sorry, I'm not used to playing games being anybody other than 11s, but this year the men's had a 10, women's have 12. It's just weird.
Yeah, because the women had an 11 and a 12, and of course the 2 16s. Speaking of those 16s, one of which was UT Martin, which fell hard to Holy Cross, 72-45 out at Iowa City. We've talked a little about UT Martin's situation. They were the Ohio Valley Conference tournament runner-up, but Southern Indiana was unable to represent the conference or unable to receive an AQ because they're transitioning from Division II to Division I. And stop us if you've heard Chris's rant about that.
Well, and not just what's so crazy about that is they did not just win the conference. They dominated it. I mean, dominated
from post to wire. Yeah.
At no point was there even a question as to whether or not Southern Indiana was going to win the league. So I don't know, man.
I just don't know why you let them play the tournament if they can't be the AQ. We've had this conversation before. Maybe Wade and I had it, and maybe the answer is, they deserve it. Maybe the answer is the tournament is in Evansville.
I mean, I I don't think that had anything to do with them winning it.
No, but maybe that had something to do with them being allowed to play in it.
Yeah, I think you have to. Again, as I've said before, I think you have to let them play in those tournaments because it's the only thing they have to play for. Yeah, I mean, it's quite literally the only thing they have to play for.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
That's fair.
Anyway, as far as the women's tournament goes, I mean, we can sit here and talk about Tennessee and Vanderbilt and even Middle for that matter all day, but I just want to know, is anybody going to give South Carolina even a whiff of a game? Now, I know they had some tough outs in the SEC tournament, but
one in particular.
But I mean, was that the wake-up call they needed?
That's a heck of a question.
So,
and you know, maybe that was the proverbial poking of the bear, because with 32.7 seconds left, South Carolina leads 16 seed Presbyterian 91-39.
Yeah, they are well in hand
and well awake.
Yeah. So, anyway.
Other games today, tipping off at the top of the hour, number 1 seed Texas. They got the 4th number 1, I guess, behind South Carolina, UConn, and not UConn, South Carolina, Southern Cal, and who was the 4th? Iowa.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, there we go. So Texas and Drexel play at the top of the hour on ESPNU. Did you notice, going back to the men's bracket for just a second, only one of the top seeds played yesterday, North Carolina. The other 3 play today.
That's unusual.
Yeah, because I kind of thought they'd kind of balance those up. But I thought about it when I heard that 11 seeds yesterday were 3-0. And I'm like, why did 3 of the same seed play on the same day? Yeah, I guess I just would have thought that you would have 2 of each on each day.
Yes, that makes sense. But it's got to be just where the regions fell.
I guess it's odd.
No doubt. All right.
Oh,
yeah, this one's getting good. So
UAB 65. San Diego State leads UAB 66-65 with 35 seconds to go.
The shot clock is on.
We probably shouldn't say much else.
Yeah, let's just take a break, eh?
Yeah, let's do that. And maybe we'll have a final when we come back. Yeah, let's take a break here at Main Street Sports Today, presented by the Tennessee Orthopedic Alliance of Columbia. We'll be back after this.
Welcome to Protein Snack Shop, your destination for healthy and delicious low-carb snacks. Our specialty lies in providing protein-packed desserts that are perfect for those following a keto diet. Our products are made with high-quality ingredients, ensuring that you can satisfy your cravings without compromising your health goals. From a variety of flavors and options to choose from, you can enjoy guilt-free snacking while staying on track with your fitness journey. Don't miss out on our limited time offer. Discover Protein Snack Shop today.
Whether you're an athlete or a weekend warrior, when it comes to your performance, don't settle for anything less than excellence. We're proud to announce that Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint Clinic is now Tennessee Orthopedic Alliance of Columbia, where we are redefining sports medicine and orthopedics. Tennessee Orthopedic Alliance's team of expert sports medicine physicians understands the unique demands of your body. TOA Columbia specializes in personalized orthopedic care, offering state-of-the-art treatments for everything from sports injuries to joint replacements. Learn more at toacolumbia.com.
With Lee Company technology, the best handymen are hands-off. Lee Company techs have been using visual findings and other smart technology tools for years to add transparency and virtually take customers along. You see what we see, whether we're in a crawl space or on a roof. With Lee Company, technology helps us help you. No matter what's happening in the world or at your house.
Jones & Lang Sporting Goods here in Columbia has been outfitting teams, officials, and anybody else from T-ball to college for 50 plus years. Be sure and check them out at 931-388-8060 or online at jonesandlang.com. Jones & Lang Sporting Goods, the look of a winner.
Zion Christian Academy, zioneagles.org or 931-388-5731. You can schedule your appointment. Go tour their campus. It is beautiful over there, and you're definitely going to want to see it. Again, it's zioneagles.org. Give them a call, 931-388-5731, and schedule your tour today.
Piggly Wiggly, located in Neely's Mill Shopping Center, is Columbia's locally owned and operated Cost Plus 10 grocery store dedicated to serving the community with low prices and smiling faces. Piggly Wiggly offers fresh, hand-cut meats daily as well as daily hot plate lunches from their deli counter. You're certain to see smiling faces and a helping hand when you're here at Piggly Wiggly. Come by and check out our fresh produce, high-quality meats, and more. Down home, down the street, we'll see you at the Pig.
We thrive under the lights. A city of performers. Putting on one heck of a show. Headlining night after night. Welcome to Smashville.
Weekend update of Main Street Sports Today, presented by the Tennessee Orthopedic Alliance of Columbia. I'm Maurice Patton, that's Chris Yao, and as producer Mark pointed out to us, Texas and Drexel are at halftime because that 3 o'clock start was Eastern.
Gotcha.
Hate when that happens.
I hate.
Yeah. When you're reading info and
you know where I'm at, phone.
Well, to be fair, I had pulled up NCAA.com, and that's what I was referencing there. But Texas is up on Drexel 40-20 at the half.
Gotcha.
Also, Virginia Tech already up 18-10 on Marshall in the Portland 3 region. They've got to do something about that deal. We mentioned Tennessee defeating St. Peter's 83-49 last night and being the only Southeastern Conference team to advance out of day one. You'd think that there was a little bit of, extra caution being exercised on UT's part after seeing Mississippi State, South Carolina, and Kentucky go down.
Well, and also, the fact that St. Peter's, even though you didn't have Doug Edert or anything, St. Peter's had made a run to the Elite Eight last year. So there was, plenty of reason to give St. Peter's your undivided attention.
And they got it.
And I think that's, as first round draws go, it was probably beneficial to Tennessee that it was St. Peter's. Had it been Oakland, who hadn't won an NCAA tournament game in however long, had it been, any other team that you didn't, doesn't maybe strike the fear in you that a team that just come off an Elite Eight run does,
right.
Who knows? But at no point did Tennessee look like it was playing with its food.
No, not at all. It was 27-7 early.
They beat the Bachman-Turner overdraft. They took care of business, got out of there, and, focused their attention now on the other fake UT.
One man's trash.
There you go.
Yeah.
So, yesterday was an absurd day.
Talking to CL a couple of segments ago, he said that he took Oregon over South Carolina, and kudos to him for doing so. But I didn't realize that Oregon had a transfer from South Carolina. Maybe CL did. But Cousinard
I don't know.
went for 40
Well,
in that win.
there you go. He said, one man's trash. You know, the thing is, that game was a 6-11.
Mhm.
I picked South Carolina. Probably not smart. Oregon was favored in that game. I mean, Vegas had them winning it. And typically, if there's a double-digit seed that's even within 5 points, Vegas don't feel good about it.
Mhm.
And if you've got one that's on the other side and is actually favored, can't imagine that they expected them to lose at all. So tough loss, tough way to end the year for Lamont Paris, but you got to be proud of, you know, where they ended up. And
Yeah, I mean, how mad can you be when a team that was picked to finish 14th gets a 6th seed?
right.
Now, again, Jermaine Cousinard, 40 points, a career high for him, the most by an Oregon player ever in
Yeah.
the NCAAs.
I think I saw when he hit 34 that broke the school record. So, because I was watching as much as I could. So,
it's just bizarre. I think I saw on Twitter that Cousinard's dad said that Lamont Paris had not reached out to them, you know, for maybe a month after he got the position. So while he says it wasn't personal, I guess it's a good thing it wasn't.
yeah, because how many
How many would he have gotten if it was personal? Yeah. Again, 11 seeds went 3-0 yesterday with Duquesne beating BYU, and who was the third 11 to win?
I'm not sure because I'm looking at the brackets now, but would have been NC State.
DJ Burns.
Who I had listen, I had zero. Okay, let me tell you, Duquesne and NC State.
Mhm.
I had zero faith in them winning because here's the thing: in a conference tournament, a team that's not supposed to win it can go on a run and get hot but you got 2 or 3 days to cool off. And I'm sitting there going,
Okay, but I don't know.
momentum-
I don't know if NC State cooled off or rested up because they won 5 games in 5 days.
I understand. And again, that's my point is I didn't feel like that there was any way they could keep that momentum over those days off.
Mhm.
I mean, Duquesne was only an 11 seed because they got slotted in to they stole the bid from the presumptive
A10.
A10 auto bid.
Mhm.
And they just kind of got stuck in the 11 spot. They probably should have been in a play-in game, but that's why the 10s were the play-in.
Mhm.
And so it just kind of screwed up everything. And then you sit there and go,
then they screw things up some more by
for
winning.
everybody. I mean, so this is going to be interesting. I mean, right now, Sarah's bracket, which does not have two of her Final Four picks are already gone and is still currently beating my bracket.
2 of her Final 4 picks are gone.
Yeah, Mississippi State and BYU.
So what's her method?
Mascots.
Bulldogs beat Spartans?
Yeah, she had. And to her, in her defense, when she got to the Final Four pick, she goes, I think Mississippi State might suck. A little late, but she was right. No good.
No bueno.
No, it was not. But yeah, she had. Let's see. She had Texas, TCU, James Madison, and Kentucky in the Elite Eight.
Oh,
So James Madison and Texas are still available for her.
well, hopefully Texas won't be available after
tomorrow.
Yeah.
But yeah, so you go through this, and I'm wearing my navy and red in solidarity with my Samford brethren and the Baptists who got potentially.
That was a tough one. 93-89 on a bit of a controversial call, I guess.
I don't think there's any controversy to the call.
Okay, bad call.
It was a bad call. And there have been people on Twitter who have basically said, look, they missed a call on the other end where Samford traveled and scored a bucket to get it within 2. And to which I said, kind of like we said yesterday, I don't think I've seen a traveling violation called in this tournament. Not one. They're allowing the shuffling. They're allowing the feet setting. They're allowing everything. And so, I mean, they're calling it like it's 3rd and 4th grade kids who don't know how to control their feet. And so,
yeah, because you can't call every travel in 3rd and 4th grade.
The consistency's there, though. They're not calling traveling. Okay, now we know. But the mantra of an official is call what you see and see what you call.
And
there's no way
a block there.
He could have seen a foul on that play.
Right.
He just couldn't have. Sorry. And it's just unfortunate because, and Bucky in his postgame was very, I'm not blaming the call. Plenty of calls went both ways. If they don't call that, we've got the basketball, because there were two Samford guys in that corner that were going to get the basketball. There was nobody else from Kansas's team on that side of the floor.
Mm-hmm.
Then they have 5-on-4 because that dude's on the ground. So yeah, they have an opportunity to tie or win the game, and obviously don't. But then San Diego State with the win there over UAB, Birmingham just heartbreaking roller coasters over the last 16 hours. But
finals already today. Baylor defeated Colgate 92-67. Again, as you mentioned, San Diego State with a 69-65 win over UAB. Marquette 87, Western Kentucky 69. The enemy of my enemy is my friend. Go Golden Flashes. Let's see. Northwestern in overtime defeated Florida Atlantic 77-65. At halftime, UConn 52, Stetson 19. And at halftime, Clemson 42, New Mexico 28. But I'm going to tell you, after watching what Middle did just now to Louisville, I'm not ready to count New Mexico out just yet.
Again, Samford was down
a bunch.
22 in the second half. So it is March Madness, and it's March Madness for a reason.
Mm-hmm.
It just is. I don't think Stetson's going to be making any major comebacks against UConn.
No, I don't
52-19.
think so.
But, kudos, though, to, some of these guys who have stepped up. He talked about the kid from Oakland who hit 10 threes.
I'm glad you revisited that, because I got a text last night from Trevecca Athletic Media Relations Director Greg Ruff.
Mm-hmm.
Jack Golke, playing for Oakland tonight against Kentucky, played for Hillsdale the last 4 years.
Which is in their conference.
The great Midwest,
GMAC.
The GMAC, yes. In 4 games against Trevecca the last 2 years, Golke averaged 9 minutes per game. Shot 43.3% from the field, 8 of 22 from behind the arc, 2 of 3 from the line. Career against Trevecca, 4 years, 8 games. He's 12 of 30 from 3.
He
12
almost
of
hit
30 from 3 in 8 games against Trevecca.
and he almost hit
10.
that many in one against Kentucky.
He hit 10 last night.
Well,
yeah. So
I know Washington State may have busted some brackets beating Drake last night. I think, a lot of folks thought that was going to have, again, Nevada over Dayton was a popular pick. The 11-6s has kind of taken over the 7-10s.
Yeah.
It really had, like, it used to be you could just about guarantee a 7-10 was going to, 2 or 3 of those were going to happen, but the 11-6s seem to be taking that over, and the 12-5s to a lesser degree. Obviously, Gonzaga taking down Will Wade. I think that 86-65 loss, of course, McNeese did outscore Gonzaga in the second half, may have it may have squashed or at least somewhat thrown some water on the Will Wade to Vanderbilt rumors. Of course, someone said, I don't know if you saw the message board screenshot from Blake Lovell, Vanderbilt message board said, "I like my coaches like I like my women. Give me Will Wade or John Calipari, high end but a little dirty." And someone quoted it and said, "I like my coaches like I like my women. I wish I had one." So safe to say the Vanderbilt coaching search going well on the internet. But if you're Vanderbilt, I mean, what kind of coach are you looking for?
And that's a good question. I had a conversation over the weekend with someone who is not in the Vanderbilt athletic department, but someone who is close to the program. And the mention was made that you've really got to think outside the box with this position at this point, more so than any other time with, transfer portal and NIL. And if ever you were going to get way outside the box and go with somebody who did not have collegiate coaching experience, now might be the time. Just because the paradigm has shifted so dramatically. And it's probably got to shift even more so at Vanderbilt. So,
yeah, who knows? I mean, they could be like Howard and hire a WAPO journalist. Maybe you're on the short list, Mo. Have you called Candace Lee recently?
The meme or the tweet that caught my eye last night was after the Kentucky loss. At Kenny Fair 3, Kenny FEHR 3. If Calipari is allowed back in Lexington, I will make January 6th look like a kindergarten birthday party.
Yeah, that one was rough.
That's
also look, that's where Kentucky's 24/7 message board crashed.
Yeah,
was broken last night. So
kind of like the team.
Yeah, I mean, that's kind of where we're at in this situation is, John Calipari. And I can tell you, if you go to John Varlas's Twitter, folks in Memphis aren't sad.
Folks in Memphis are not torn up in the least.
Not mad at all.
Nope. Come sit with us. Yeah.
Maybe Kentucky or Vanderbilt could hire a former Memphis coach. I mean, he did have some dribbling exercises on CBS yesterday, did Josh Pastner.
Hell hath no fury. Hell hath no fury like a Memphis fan scorned. Though.
No,
I mean
those people, they don't care.
And they got long memories.
Long. It's interesting how that's played out, though. But yeah, and Memphis not playing right now certainly didn't help matters. So
Like I said, come sit with us. Yeah, yeah.
The
You're
NCAA
out.
tournament, man, it is a madhouse. It is insane. I don't think it gets any less insane tonight. I think
Right.
Charleston, Alabama is going to be a really good basketball game. You've got two teams that make the most three-pointers in the country, and one of them has a decent defense against whatever conference that Charleston is in.
Big South?
I think they're in the Big South, yeah. So, no, CAA. Big South is Sanford.
No, Sanford's in the SoCon.
SoCon. Well, anyway,
Yeah.
Charleston's in the CAA.
Okay. All right.
But they make the most three-pointers in the country, and Alabama ain't far behind. So if it's 134 to 130, don't be surprised.
Okay, so riddle me this, Batman. If Charleston is in the CAA, is Longwood in the Big South?
The Big South
Yes,
basketball
they are.
tournament would have been.
Longwood not only is in the Big South, but was 6-10 in the Big South.
They had no business being in the NCAA tournament.
That's why they're playing a 1 seed right out
Well,
of the
and
box.
see, that's why I don't hate the WCC. And the latter
Oh, yeah.
tournament where 1 and 2 are already in the semifinals.
Semis.
Because, I mean, you can get an NC State that wins 5 games in 5 days. It gives them an opportunity, but it also rewards your regular
Yeah, it
season champion.
incentivizes the regular season championship, and there needs to be something to that.
But Longwood took advantage of the Big South and, yeah, didn't work out so well.
Clearly. Let's take a break. When we come back here on Main Street Sports Today, presented by the Tennessee Orthopedic Alliance of Columbia, we will have former MTSU men's basketball coach Kermit Davis joining us. Stay with us after the break. Whether you're an athlete or a weekend warrior, when it comes to your performance, don't settle for anything less than excellence. We're proud to announce that Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint Clinic is now Tennessee Orthopedic Alliance of Columbia, where we are redefining sports medicine and orthopedics. Tennessee Orthopedic Alliance's team of expert sports medicine physicians understands the unique demands of your body. TOA Columbia specializes in personalized orthopedic care, offering state-of-the-art treatments for everything from sports injuries to joint replacements. Learn more at toacolumbia.com.
Custom Stone Handler supplies over 600 distributors and suppliers with quality stone products. Along with River Stone, we produce and distribute over 100 building, landscape, and other bulk products. Our goal is to provide quality products, service, and partnerships to ensure our customers' success. We firmly believe that the measure of any person or company is how they treat other people and customers. Give them a call at 931-490-4990 or visit CustomStonehandlers.com.
With Lee Company technology, the best handymen are hands-off. Lee Company techs have been using visual findings and other smart technology tools for years to add transparency and virtually take customers along. You see what we see, whether we're in a crawl space or on a roof. With Lee Company, technology helps us help you, no matter what's happening in the world or at your house.
Piggly Wiggly, located in Neely's Mill Shopping Center, is Columbia's locally owned and operated Cost Plus 10 grocery store dedicated to serving the community with low prices and smiling faces. Piggly Wiggly offers fresh, hand-cut meats daily as well as daily hot plate lunches from their deli counter. You're certain to see smiling faces and a helping hand when you're here at Piggly Wiggly. Come by and check out our fresh produce, high-quality meats, and more. Down home, down the street, we'll see you at the Pig.
Welcome to Protein Snack Shop, your destination for healthy and delicious low-carb snacks. Our specialty lies in providing protein-packed desserts that are perfect for those following a keto diet. Our products are made with high-quality ingredients, ensuring that you can satisfy your cravings without compromising your health goals. From a variety of flavors and options to choose from, you can enjoy guilt-free snacking while staying on track with your fitness journey. Don't miss out on our limited time offer. Discover Protein Snack Shop today.
We thrive under the lights. A city of performers. Putting on one heck of a show. Headlining night after night. Welcome to Smashville.
Weekend update edition of Main Street Sports Today, presented by the Tennessee Orthopedic Alliance of Columbia. I'm Maurice Patton. That's Chris Yao. And talking about March Madness as we have all day, it's nice to be able to catch up with a guy who in back-to-back seasons pulled off two of the more significant upsets of the NCAA tournament. Former Middle Tennessee State coach KERMIT Davis joining us. Coach, good afternoon.
How we doing, Maurice? Good to be with you.
Good to have you, man. Hey, as you watch the NCAA tournament from year to year now, I mean, does it resonate with you what you guys did against Michigan State and Wisconsin?
You know, I was on I do a deal with Chris Childers and Rick Newhousel, and this morning we had Greg Campy on, and Greg, I've known Greg for a long time, and watching that game last night, you know, had a few people text me, said it felt like, you know, when we were watching Middle Tennessee play Michigan State, you know, because Kentucky would make a run, Oakland kept answering. Same kind of happened in 2016. So you get those feelings. Your players will former players will text you, and it's kind of one of those things that is forever. And that memory those guys had last night with that win over for Kentucky was something that'll just go down in history at Oakland.
Oh, absolutely. Those two upsets that you guys had against Michigan State in 16, against Wisconsin in 17, they're part of a long line for Middle. Obviously, last night that was Oakland's first, but we've talked about the MTSU Kentucky game back in 82. There was MTSU and Florida State in 89. There have been a handful of them, but they all seem to have their own place. And, you know, a 2 beating a 15, as you guys did, that's certainly was rare then, has become a little less rare, I guess, thanks St. Peter's. But, you know, just when you look at the numbers next to the names, it particularly takes on a lot of meaning there, I guess.
You know, Maurice, when you start looking at brackets and gosh, you start looking out, we got to find some upsets in this bracket, like everybody's trying to, okay? And you start looking at that 2 and 15 line, you go like, I don't really see anything. You know, it's hard to see it. I mean, we're a 21-point underdog. I mean, Michigan State was favored to win it. I don't know what the line last night was, probably 16 or 17, Oakland and Kentucky. So it is rare. I think it's 11 of them that's happened. You know what happens sometimes, though? The second year, we were a 12, and we played Minnesota, who was a 5. We were misseeded because we'd won 30 games, and we were good. I mean, I think we had gotten ranked at the time, and so we were favored in the game as a 12. And, you know, that very rarely happens. Ended up winning, I don't know, 10 or 12, I think. And I still think, Maurice, credit to our players, it was the only time in the history of the NCAA that in back-to-back years, the same team had a 12 or higher seed and won back-to-back games. It's just hard to do, you know, and so credit to the players and the staff during those couple of years.
KERMIT Davis joining us here on Main Street Sports Today, presented by TOA Columbia. And Coach, you know, when you have a team that is seeded 15th or 14th like Oakland, you're playing with house money, right? I mean, you really don't have much pressure on you in those situations. So how much of an impact does that have on your preparation?
Yeah, and Greg and I were talking about this. I think after they'd gotten selected, I knew they were going to play Kentucky. The biggest thing is you want to go in healthy, and we did 0 contact before we played Michigan State. We'd had an injury before the Conference USA tournament. So we went full speed, but we didn't do any contact. You wanted guys to be healthy and fresh. Same thing there. What you're trying to convince your guys that you can win. Now, the one thing you do have going for you, you've at least won 3 or 4 games because you've won your conference tournament. So you have confidence going into the tournament. And then you've heard it said, I'm sure it's been said on your show, and it's the truth. Like in St. Louis that day, we got out to a 15-2 lead. And all of a sudden, it was 16,000. It was a home game. And, 16,000 home game. Everybody, maybe the 2,000 Michigan State fans were pulling against the rest of the arena. So now it becomes a home game against a Power 5 school, which never happens, very rarely. And so that all that stuff plays in your favor. The getting out to a good start is usually what happens. It usually helps with the upset.
Coach, full disclosure here. Chris is from Alabama, North Alabama, and one of the heroes of that team is one of his heroes as well, Giddy Potts. I mean, when you get a performance like you got out of him and out of Reggie Upshaw in that ball game, you're right there on par with Michigan State or anybody else on that day.
Yeah, I mean, Giddy Potts was the best guard on the floor. Reggie was the best forward on the floor. And they had Darnell Valentine, who was, I think, the college player of the year. But that's the beauty of March. It just is. And what I hate about today's time, men, is, Giddy was a sophomore. I think Reggie was a junior. And in today's time with NIL, I mean, Alabama or Auburn would have offered Giddy $300,000 to $500,000. Tennessee or Kentucky would have offered Reggie $300,000 to $500,000. Could you have kept that team together, to have these kind of runs? And it's going on with Belmont right now. Belmont's losing these great players that Rick and those guys had for 3 and 4 years, and that's why they became so good. So to kind of keep those teams intact in today's world is so much harder.
And Coach, when you say that between, NIL and the transfer portal, and now you've got folks like Greg Sankey and Tom Izzo and folks like that kind of wanting to eliminate AQs for the mid-major conferences and that kind of thing. I mean,
or expand the tournament.
Expand the tournament to get more
power
5 teams in and that kind of thing. I mean, the mid-majors are under attack from all angles, it seems like.
I tell you, I can see it in college football because that's hard. That's difficult. But in basketball, what game was everybody talking about today? It's Oakland, Kentucky, or the 6-11 upsets Duquesne. And that's what makes the NCAA tournament. I read that and I was really disappointed because, I'm all for expanding the tournament. And I agree that it takes trying to get a few more Power 5 schools in. But the tournament thrives. Indiana State needed to be in this tournament. Everybody would have loved to have watched Indiana State play. No offense to Virginia. Tony Bennett's one of the best in our business, but Indiana State should have been there. And so if you expand the tournament, I think you expand it to get more variety in the tournament, and if it's more Power 5, so be it. But to try to eliminate the AQs, mid-major, I'm telling you, the fans, they don't want to watch that as much as what we watched last night.
Well, and as a coach who has been obviously on the winning side of those mid-major upsets in the tournament and a guy who's coached in the Southeastern Conference, you kind of have that unique, kind of perspective to this. So, there are times where Conference USA, especially back when you were coaching in it, when UAB was really good, Western was always really good. There were some great basketball teams in that era of Conference USA who could have matched up with just about any SEC team on any given night.
Sure. I would love to. My first year at Ole Miss, we got ranked. We went to the tournament. We were an 8th seed. Oklahoma beat us, and we were 10-8 in the league. Had a good team. Won over 20 games and had some really good wins. But I guarantee there's some years at Middle Tennessee when we got upset in our conference tournament, sitting on 25, 26, 27 wins and beating some SEC teams. You thought you probably could have gotten in maybe before an Ole Miss. And then my third year, we won 10 games. We're the last team out. So I have seen it on both perspectives. When you get in the SEC, you want 8 to 10. When you're in the Conference USA and Sun Belt and these deals, you're trying to fight for your life. Those non-conference games are so critical. We got one at-large bid when I was at Middle, and it was in 2013, and we beat Ole Miss that year at home pretty badly, and Ole Miss won the SEC tournament championship. And so I think that really helped us get in on that particular year.
Former MTSU men's basketball coach Kermit Davis joining us here on Main Street Sports today. Coach, did you do a bracket?
I did.
How is it?
Well, it's not great. I had UAB in my only 5-12 upset over San Diego State. AK's team played their tail off. I've got Auburn going to the Final Four and cutting down the nets. So I've got Auburn in the Sweet 16. I've got Auburn and Illinois playing to go to the I think it's to the Final Four. Maybe they're playing I don't have it right in front of me. I have Creighton and Houston playing. I have Creighton going to the championship game. I know I'm one of the few, but I don't know. That's like I said, I'm drinking the Bruce juice. I think he's got a chance. He seems like he's got his team in a zone right now watching that tournament. I think they're fixed to get on a good run.
What do you like about Creighton?
Talk about Creighton?
Yeah, what do you like about them?
Oh, I just like everything. I think to go to the championship game to win it, you need a great center. And it has happened over the years. If you don't have a great center, it's hard. I mean, even if those great centers are not drafted, like last year, Connecticut had 2. I love Kalkbrenner, for Creighton. He's terrific. Shearman is fantastic. Trey Alexander, I mean, they've got great wings. They've got depth. They went to the Elite 8. Most of those guys came back. They lost their point guard to Gonzaga, Nebhart, but they filled in with a point guard from Utah State who's a great player there. And so if they face a team like Houston, can they play when the game gets real physical at the point guard spot? But think about it, guys. How many teams in college basketball, I mean, they boat raced UConn. I mean, beat them, had them 20, and so not many teams can do that. And it shows you the talent of their team.
No doubt. I mean, the Blue Jays certainly have everything that you want. They've got a great backcourt. They've got, they play solid defense, and they don't rely too much on the 3 ball, which is, that's typically what gets you in the NCAA tournament, is not being able to score at some point. So, I mean, I'm looking forward to, this is, Coach, the best time of the year. Are there a better 4 days in all of the world?
It's not if you're a sports fan. It just can't be, because of all the different levels of teams. I mean, the college football playoff going to 12 is fantastic, and it's great. But it won't be all the team. It won't be, the different levels of teams, and where the different levels of teams can win. I mean, when Fairleigh Dickinson and St. Peter's and these teams, can win games against the best teams in college basketball. So it's so different, which I think it makes it so unique, and it's just can't miss TV.
Absolutely. Kermit Davis, former MTSU men's basketball coach, joining us here on Main Street Sports today. Coach, we appreciate it. Enjoy the tournament, and we've enjoyed you.
Well, thank you, Maurice. Great. Thanks for having me on. Look forward to being with you maybe again sometime.
Sounds good, Coach. Thank you.
All right, buddy. See ya.
All right. Hey, when we come back here on Main Street Sports today, what?
We look ahead.
Yeah, let's do that. Let's kind of look at what we're going to be looking at this weekend when we come back to the Lee Company studios after this.
Whether you're an athlete or a weekend warrior, when it comes to your performance, don't settle for anything less than excellence. We're proud to announce that Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint Clinic is now Tennessee Orthopedic Alliance of Columbia. where we are redefining sports medicine and orthopedics. Tennessee Orthopedic Alliance's team of expert sports medicine physicians understands the unique demands of your body. TOA Columbia specializes in personalized orthopedic care, offering state-of-the-art treatments for everything from sports injuries to joint replacements. Learn more at toacolumbia.com.
Custom Stone Handler supplies over 600 distributors and suppliers with quality stone products. Along with River Stone, we produce and distribute over 100 building, landscape, and other bulk products. Our goal is to provide quality products, service, and partnerships to ensure our customers' success. We firmly believe that the measure of any person or company is how they treat other people and customers. Give them a call at 931-490-4990 or visit CustomStonehandlers.com.
With Lee Company technology, the best handymen are hands-off. Lee Company techs have been using visual findings and other smart technology tools for years to add transparency and virtually take customers along. You see what we see, whether we're in a crawl space or on a roof. With Lee Company, technology helps us help you, no matter what's happening in the world or at your house.
Piggly Wiggly, located in Neely's Mill Shopping Center, is Columbia's locally owned and operated Cost Plus 10 grocery store dedicated to serving the community with low prices and smiling faces. Piggly Wiggly offers fresh, hand-cut meats daily as well as daily hot plate lunches from their deli counter. You're certain to see smiling faces and a helping hand when you're here at Piggly Wiggly. Come by and check out our fresh produce, high-quality meats, and more. Down home, down the street, we'll see you at the Pig.
Welcome to Protein Snack Shop, your destination for healthy and delicious low-carb snacks. Our specialty lies in providing protein-packed desserts that are perfect for those following a keto diet. Our products are made with high-quality ingredients, ensuring that you can satisfy your cravings without compromising your health goals. From a variety of flavors and options to choose from, you can enjoy guilt-free snacking while staying on track with your fitness journey. Don't miss out on our limited time offer. Discover Protein Snack Shop today.
We thrive under the lights. A city of performers. Putting on one heck of a show. Headlining night after night. Welcome to Smashville.
It's the final segment of the weekend update edition of Main Street Sports Today, presented by the Tennessee Orthopedic Alliance of Columbia. I'm Maurice Patton. That's Chris Yao. And scrolling through Twitter as we are wont to do, Chris has come up with
what may
possibly the tweet of the month, if not more.
Yeah, no. So John Rothstein and Andy Staples going back and forth. Rothstein says, Kentucky's current buyout is $33.3 million. And, he's going to be Kentucky's head coach unless someone pays him $34 million. Because what did Nolan Richardson say?
They pay me my money. They can have this job tomorrow.
So Andy basically says, Jimbo Fisher exists, and they just paid him $77 million at Texas A&M. Well,
right.
Mike Farrell, thinking.
Well, Mike Farrell is a football guy.
Mm-hmm. Good luck finding that oil money in Lexington. To which Andy Staples, with the tweet of the century, says, oil ain't the only valuable thing they put in barrels, Mike. And they got more barrels of whiskey in Kentucky than they got people. Come on. When I read it, I just thought, my God.
Andy should probably retire from Twitter.
Yeah, I think that might be my final tweet. I'd mic drop and walk it out. Now, Mike says whiskey money's not quite as lucrative as oil money, but it's only half the money. It's only 34. It ain't 77.
There you go.
I'm telling
Less than
you.
half.
And you know, them whiskey barons might make him an offer he can't refuse. You'll take 20 or you'll sleep with the fishes tonight.
Or there's some places over here in Eastern Kentucky
They won't find
they
you.
won't ever find you. I mean, that was basically the genesis for a pretty good TV show.
So, I mean, if
they really want him gone,
if they want him gone, they can get him gone. Yeah, I just
it took a pretty dark turn.
It did.
But no less accurate.
Auburn's Chad Baker Mazzara has been ejected for a flagrant 2.
Oh, that means he's out the next game too, right? Assuming that there is a next game.
I think you're only out the next game if you fight.
Oh, okay.
I don't think he fighted. I don't think he was fighting.
Oh, okay.
So I don't know.
So he didn't get 5 for fighting.
2 minutes, well worth it.
Oh,
what is going on this weekend?
Well,
other than watching the NCAA tournament, I mean, tomorrow we have Tennessee at what, 6:30?
Oh, I screenshotted that because I saw it late last night.
Well, it's on our rundown. I just didn't keep the rundown up because I wasn't paying.
Oh, I think it's 7 last night. 7 tomorrow night, 8 Eastern.
Gotcha. So 7 o'clock on CBS. UT.
Yeah.
Should be fun.
Preds play tomorrow night, right?
Tomorrow afternoon, actually, down at Bridgestone Arena.
They're doing UT fans a solid playing early.
Right in the middle of the 2 games.
So
I mean, quite literally, you can watch the women, watch the Preds, watch the men. It's a good day.
That is a good day.
Tater. And then after Tennessee, Texas is done, flip it on Apple TV and watch a little Nashville SC out in Los Angeles.
Out on the West Coast. There you go.
Quite possibly one of the best days in Middle Tennessee.
To be a Nashville sports fan, that's a pretty good day.
Just run them down.
And then you can come back on Sunday and you can watch Middle Tennessee State and this.
Is it going to be Rice? Who knows?
It could very well be Rice or maybe not. LSU 24, Rice 16, 4.5 to play in the second quarter. So maybe the Lady Tigers starting to pull away a little bit. But it's not 18 points. So
we've seen different.
Yeah.
But yeah, how about a big weekend in March Madness? Obviously, but this is the best weekend or the best 4 days in all of sports. The Stanley Cup playoffs as a whole may be better. The Stanley Cup finals are the best championship finals in all of sports.
But this first 4 days.
But these 4 days.
And you know what's even better? This time next week, Dodgers Padres notwithstanding, we will have baseball that matters.
Wednesday at 2:00.
Is it Wednesday or is it Thursday? I think it's
The
Thursday.
watch party is Wednesday that you sent me.
No, that was something else.
Oh, Thursday. I'm sorry. Wednesday is media day.
Wednesday
Right,
is Sounds Media Day.
Thursday at 2.
Thursday.
So
yeah.
It's gonna be a heck of a week. Next week it won't be nearly as fun as 11 o'clock to 1 a.m. basketball, but
1 a.m. that you couldn't make.
Couldn't do it, man. I tried real hard too. I mean, seriously, I was struggling at the end of the Tennessee game.
Well, that was probably the game as much as anything else. I mean, if it had been more compelling, you'd have probably been in a little bit better shape.
Well, and at that point, the Samford Kansas game wasn't very compelling. It was 18, 20 points. I'm just like, okay, well, this is they're done. I'm done. So I went ahead and took it to the bed, and probably a good thing I did. My kid's been waking up early, but like 6 a.m. and it's killing me. She had just gotten to where she was going back to 7:30, and now, yeah. So it's a struggle. It's a struggle. But that's it. I mean, that's really. I mean, that's all I'm planning on this weekend.
Just posting up in front of the TV.
There you go. What?
Well,
what's? I know you don't do a bracket, but
I don't do a bracket, and I'm pretty glad I don't. Actually, I'm going to do some umpiring tomorrow. It's that time. I guess it's opening week up in Brentwood.
I almost decided to go to Bethesda and do a little softball, but I went against it. All right, so who loses tonight?
Who loses tonight? I like that. It's great framing.
We've got A&M Nebraska. That's not really
the Trev Alberts Bowl.
Oof, man, that's wild, isn't it?
Isn't it?
That is wild.
As our co-host Wade Neely tweeted earlier or texted us earlier today, today's a great day for Vermont to win an NCAA tournament game.
You know,
as they take on 4-seeded Duke.
Vermont's only a 12.5-point underdog.
In the South region, which I feel quite sure they're playing in Charlotte. Where are they playing?
That game is in Brooklyn, New York.
So
closer to Vermont than Duke, probably.
Well, I just figure with all of the advantages that Duke typically gets, that they would have put them as close to home as possible. So, okay.
I mean, Vermont is a possible upset. I think Charleston is a possible upset. I think
you've been saying that all week.
I think Grand Canyon's a possible upset over St. Mary's. I mean,
I'm going to watch this Grambling Purdue game for a little bit just because I just want to see. Let's see what the Tigers can do.
I'm surprised they're even here after the way they started in
the first four.
In that first four game, but kudos to them.
Once they got it to overtime, though, it was.
Well, I mean, just the way they fought back in the second half was impressive, and they've got a little momentum going, and obviously Purdue has a history.
A lot of people like James Madison in this Wisconsin game.
Tons of people like James Madison. It's 12-5. I mean, at this point,
as Kermit was saying.
I mean, let's go look at this one. This one is a 5.5-point game. I told you, if it's within 7, Vegas doesn't like it. And so I would not be surprised to see Jimmy get the upset.
Jimmy.
That is
Jimmy Dukes.
Yeah. that is the insult hurled their way from Liberty fans.
Oh, they call
Liberty
him
fans
Jimmy
call him
instead
Jimmy.
of James.
Yeah.
Wow.
So they refuse to say JMU, so they just call him Jimmy. Yeah, I mean, I could absolutely see, which again, Charleston, the reason I think, and this is my logical brain, which means Alabama's going to run away with this thing. But if Charleston makes the most 3-pointers, Alabama makes almost the most 3-pointers, but Charleston's defense is exponentially better, giving up 66 points a game versus 84 points a game. One would think that Charleston has a chance to win this game.
Here's
I'm
the
betting
rub.
everything I have on Alabama.
Here's the rub with that. Who is Charleston giving up 66 to, and who is Alabama giving up 84 to?
Kentucky. They give up 100 to Kentucky, who lost to Oakland. So
Charleston ain't Kentucky.
So they ain't Oakland either. They're better. No. I mean, I don't know. Look.
Is the Gonzaga-Kansas game better on paper than on the floor? Tomorrow's second-round game?
Gonzaga-Kansas is going to be a blowout of epic proportions. Gonzaga will beat Kansas by 15 points.
By 15? Mark that, Mark. What is that?
Hour 54.
Hour 54.
Give or take. I think Oakland, NC State is a heck of a matchup.
Mm-hmm. You're either going to get a 14 or an 11 through to the Sweet 16.
And Oregon Creighton may be the best game of the day tomorrow outside of Texas, Tennessee. Oregon Creighton may be the best game of tomorrow.
Coach Davis likes Creighton.
Kermit likes Creighton. I think Oregon is healthy. Oregon is playing the best basketball of its season right now. And it is, let's go look here, 5.5 points for an 11-3. I'm telling you, if it's under 7 points, you're better off taking the underdog. So, I don't know. I mean, that Gonzaga-Kansas matchup has Gonzaga 4.5 point favorite.
Okay. Wade checking in. St. Mary's and Grand Canyon tonight will be electric.
I think so. I think it's probably the best game remaining out. Maybe Alabama, but yeah, I think Bryce Drew and the Lopes have a shot.
Don't say that too loud. Vanderbilt fans might hear you. Clemson 62, New Mexico 42, 9.5 minutes to play.
Seems like that one might actually be over.
It would seem. UConn 70, Stetson 38, 10 and some change. Auburn 20.
Stetson has outscored UConn in the second half, by the way, 19-18.
Auburn 20, Yale 19, 8 minutes in. They're throwing some points up. Give them that. Florida's up 6 on Colorado with 10.5 to play in the first half, 24-18.
There you go. It's been a fun one.
It has. It has. It's been a long week. It's been a fun week. I'm capping it off with some March Madness. And we'll get back at it next week.
We will indeed.
So we're a little early.
Let's go ahead.
But shall we go?
Let's go.
Let's go. We're going to go watch a little March Madness. Sure you all are as well. We will see you Monday at 2 o'clock from the Lee Company Studios. By the Tennessee Orthopedic Alliance of Columbia. That's Chris Yao. I'm Maurice Patton. We're wishing y'all a great weekend. See you Monday at 2.